Welcome to our program, Asi Somos, That's the Way We Are. Today, we are interviewing Renata. Renata, so glad to see you and thank you very much for coming to our program. Every time that I talk to you, there is always something new that I have been learning from you. It's amazing and I want to thank you to be here with us.
Oh, thank you, Sandra, for your invitation and hello to everyone listening.
Renata, I know that you have been living in Australia for already how many years?
6 years now.
6 years. But you were here before that, is that right? That you were in Australia for how long?
The first time I came here, 2009, beginning of 2009, for 2 years as a student.
You were in England, is that right? To me.
Correct, yeah.
Originally, you come from the Czech Republic, is that right?
Yes.
How old were you when you left the Czech Republic to live to another country?
First time I was 19 when I went to Belgium for 2 years. So it was my first experience abroad and living in a different culture and meeting a new mentality of people, which we always could kind of assume that the way we are, other sides as well. But then suddenly you realize this is not the way.
Sorry to interrupt. Which way did you think that it was not when you were assuming that it was the way we are?
Yeah, the way George is very natural, the way how he behaved. Suddenly, people surprise you because what is very natural for me was not for them, and there were few learnings as well. So, yeah, it was interesting.
Any special experience that comes to your mind that when you were living overseas that it was something completely different and how you were used to?
For example, Czechs, maybe East Europeans, I don't know. We are more into food and offering foods to our guests, and everything is about the hospitality, and it's quite common. And sometimes it can turn into competition. But what surprised me in Belgium, I was there as an au pair, so I was with the family, so I would really experience it, and it was as well the idea. We were used to eat, let's say, the whole bucket of the chips, and for them it was just a little bit. And because they had many au pair, they were like, why do they eat a whole package? And for us, why they are upset that we were eating the whole package, or I was giving to kids the whole package of cookies. It was not many, they were like 6. So it was 3 kids, and they had like 6 cookies, and I was kind of thought of, shouldn't do it. So these kind of little things that make you, oh, this is weird, because for us it was absolutely normal. So these kind of little things that are surprising you.
No. Things that could make maybe a big impact, like you feel like, wow, I really have to start thinking more, what do I do? Not being as natural as what you pull. It restrict you in your natural way.
I don't think it would restrict me. It was more, not that I have to adjust. Of course, I had to adjust in a way, but I don't think it would impact me that I would change in my core because of this experience. It sparked the curiosity. How are other people's? How are other mentalities? What's the difference there?
Between cultures.
Between cultures, yeah.
That's why I try to do this program about Asi Somos, that's the way we are, because it explores the cultures and our background that shows the essence of every culture. How can we adapt to a new place, still keep our own roots without, like you're saying, you didn't change. You only adapt with continuing your core, your essence of who you are. So that is fantastic. After you came to Australia as a student, and how was your experience here? What did you find in Australia?
Oh, in Australia, I was not very much exposed to Australian people. Because I was a student, and when you are here as a student, you live very busy life. You have to work, you have to do your assignments. So it was more exposure to my classmates who went from Asia. And just doing the assignments together was something sometimes, because we had a different way of thinking, and Western culture is more target oriented. Whereas people like from India or even Latino culture, they are relationship oriented. And because we are quite straightforward, this needs to be done so we can achieve a certain goal. So we don't look how it's going to affect our relationship, because we don't take it personally.
Yeah.
It's more about, let's do this. This is not good, and let's change it so we can get to the final destination. But this approach upset a lot of people. I remember I actually discussed that with my Mexican lecturer or teacher, and he laughed so much. He said, "This is the purpose of the group assignments, to learn from each other, kind of find a way, even if you come across the different cultural expectations, to move forward, and especially if someone lives like in Australia and other countries, and now because of the globalization, we are going not me just our culture. It's not like when I was brought up in communism, it was just us. Yeah, just us Czechs, the same philosophy.
You thought a project to get
Yes.
out of there when you were
Yeah.
yes, you were just
That was the same mentality, but now we need to adapt and learn from each other so we can actually achieve that. And even the way, we should not upset each other. So,
wow, that's very interesting. I didn't realize that that's the way
yes.
that people were living in the communist country. They are just the same people. You have the same mentality, and then suddenly you have to come with different countries. It's just quite a very
Yeah, obviously now it's not like this in the Czech Republic anymore, but back in the day and the way when I grew up, it was just the same philosophy, and people were brainwashed into in a way. And yeah.
And then you went to England. What happened in England?
What happened in England? Just to give a background why I went to England,
Yes.
I met my husband, that time a boyfriend, and I fell in love. And even though I so badly wanted to stay in Australia because I love this country, I love the environment, I always was craving for a nice warm weather and beaches, especially after years in Belgium, but it was just rain, dark and cold. But we already had a long distance relationship. I could apply for graduate visa and then try to find a sponsorship in a field which I studied. And my husband could go his avenue. It would mean probably would be another 2 years apart, and it would be just too long. So I decided, all right, I give up my chance, but under the condition you have to apply for visa. At least it's gesture you do something for me, because I always did something for my ex-boyfriends, and in the end we broke up, and I had nothing from that. So we agreed to that, and in the end it happened. But coming there was I didn't take it well. It was quite hard for me because my grandmother died, and she was very close to me, and probably first time I experienced such a profound loss. And it took me a while, probably a year and a half, to accept that fact. And it felt lonely there, very lonely.
In England.
In England.
Yeah.
Of course, I had my boyfriend there, but I wanted to give him space because space is important for me too. And even though I have few friends there, they were on the other side of London. And London is huge and everybody is busy. So sometimes it was very difficult to meet her. That resulted I buried myself at work, and I just work. But what was life-saving, I started hot yoga. And that's kind of kept me alive in a way, yeah, and saved me from the depression what I experienced after my grandmother passed away. But afterwards, it settled, and in my mind, this is something as well quite interesting. We think how we should set goals and go for it. In a way, it's beautiful, but on the other hand, it can make you very miserable if it's not happening. So all in my mind was I want to go back to Australia. I don't like London. I love Sydney. It took the joy from being in London. Yes. And only when I actually accepted it might not even happen, and it's okay. That's when I started to enjoy myself there, and probably like this experience in London. Yeah, so and when I accepted that, actually started to move forward with our Australian visa, interestingly as well. And we got it in the end.
When you accepted, when you were not that worried anymore.
Then I was not worried anymore.
Happens all the time.
Yeah.
Wow. I spoke with you last time. There were a lot of things that were happening to you, and then you started studying more about tapping and human design and all of these different Like I say, every time that I talk to Renata, there is always something new. Like I'm finding layers and layers of a person. And that is quite intriguing because every time I meet a little bit more of Renata, and I know his podcast will not be taking the forward personality. What I find it very interesting, all the techniques that she was able to learn to help her to overcome any depression or any loneliness that she felt. Can you tell us a little bit about those?
Sure. Yeah, as I said, I was dealing with my loneliness two ways. One, I worked a lot, and second was the yoga. And because I worked a lot, maybe it was not just that time, but because it was after my time in Australia, where because of doing my degree and working, I probably slept 2 hours for 2 years a day, let's say in average. And it was quite a lot, and all build up and build up. I ended up with burnout. That was the point when I said to myself, I was actually thinking of a friend of mine who studied at the same time massages with me, which was one of my hobbies, alternative medicine, massages and Reiki, energy healing and reflexology. And I was thinking of her, how she was here in Australia and just choosing whether she will take a massage or she will go to the beach. And I said, what a life, you know? And me here just keep working and working and working, not enjoying life, and I change profession. So from the hospitality and tourism, I went into massages and alternative healing. I started to study, even though I said I don't want to study anymore, but it looks like never-ending story for me. I did my 2 years diploma in personal development coaching and started studying tapping, EFT, acupuncture of the emotions. But instead of using needles, we gently tap on certain points, acupuncture points, and stimulate them, just those that are under the skin. What it does, it renews energy flow in our body. If we take it from the Eastern point of view or Eastern medicine point of view, but if we look at it from the conventional medicine, all it does is regulate the nervous system. Because meridians, which are energy bound, when you go to the Chinese medicine, it looks into the energy valves and energy. So when there is a good flow in nourish organs, that's how we stay healthy. But if we have any traumatic experience, it blocks that energy flow. Or again, if we look at it from the conventional medicine, our traumas are stored in our nervous system and affecting us. So we stay in this flight or fight mode. And even though we are not in a danger anymore, whatever we perceive that time as a danger, we still carrying that in our body and behave accordingly as well. So this tapping helps to renew the flow or regulate your nervous system and activate your amygdala, which is the part of the emotional center in your brain. And whatever you perceive, maybe let's say as a danger, if I use this example, suddenly you start feeling neutral about it. It's not denying it was not happening to you, but you start feeling neutral. If you go into a little bit deeper level, then you can change all the beliefs with these techniques. So once I finish coaching, where I realize it's beautiful to motivate clients to do something, but because of their limiting beliefs, they're never able to do that, I converted them into EFT clients, and I was actually able to help them more because we were able to change and transform these limiting beliefs into something which was more supporting. So that's how I get into EFT. First, it was not because of me, but it was because of my clients. But then, doing it on myself, I realized real benefits of it. It helped me through my pregnancy and motherhood journey. It helped me with medical conditions like ovarian cyst, actually recently uterine polyp or endometriosis, and
Just with tapping.
just with tapping, but as well because I studied meta health, not mental, but META.
What is meta health?
Basically, analytical tool to find the psychological root cause of the disease.
Wow.
Yeah. So you look into what tissue in your body, not even organ, the tissue is affected. You look then into what brain relay it is, and each of the brain relay has a different piece. And you look with people what traumatic experience they had. So if I give you example, my ovarian cysts were because I miscarried. And if you look at the statistics, lots of women who miscarry actually developed ovarian cysts. And reason for that, because the tissue is linked to profound loss. And which absolutely makes sense. And then I tapped on it with EFT practitioners. Next time I went to doctor to check it that it was gone.
Wow, yeah. It is amazing, but yes, we know that everything is emotional, and a lot of our sickness are the emotions that we have kept in our body. Then you were also telling me something very interesting, is the human design. So you that's not like I said, layers and layers of this.
Yeah.
And things that I have been learning from you. Tell me about the human design.
Yeah, and human is actually mind trainer for EFT and matrix training and mental health. She introduced me to human design. On one of our mentoring session, I asked her how I could use it in a practice, and she didn't reply. She gave me mini reading. And since then, I never stopped looking into the information about it. It is science of differentiation. It basically look at you on a DNA level who you are, and tells you what qualities you are here to use in this lifetime, and where you are conditioned and influenced from others, and you should not rely on that because it's inconsistent. But those which is so-called definition, you can rely on it, and that's what you should express, because you can use that anytime and it's always there for you.
So that would be your qualities as a human being. So that would be just imprinted on you. You cannot change it. So you came here with these qualities, and that's it.
If I give you the example, it's a beautiful example. One of my clients, she has the energy of starting things. Yeah. And she has this energy there, and she started to write a book. And she was writing it for 2 years. And because she doesn't have energy to finish and complete things, she's struggling. Then I suggested find someone who will help edit it. And once she did, within 2 months, she suddenly was able to finish it. Not that the editor would do too much work, but just her energy helped her to complete it. So knowing these things, it's like, oh, okay, I can borrow the energy from others to help me, but I should not become it. Because it's about starting new things. But if she pushed that she would depleting her energy, it would affect her. But okay, this is what is missing. Let's invite someone else to help me with that. And it's what I like, because we don't live in isolation. And it's beautiful to understand how another person can help me and compliment me if I need it.
So that's when you think about how important is the community and to help each other and to feel that support from someone else. You are not a superwoman, you are not a superman, and complement each other.
Complement each other, yeah. Because we are all different. They are all different, and if I'm trying to be someone else, I will never be that person. I'll not be even close. So that's why I believe that there is no point to imitate anyone. It's better to understand who you are, go with that, and use that.
That's when we go back to our roots to learn. So many times how we get lost in that to know yourself. Now you came here and it's amazing. I was here 10 years by myself, and I didn't have my mother, I didn't have anyone, I didn't have my sister, have my husband and not my immediate family. And I was feeling really lonely. And I am amazed to see how beautiful mother you are. How do you feel when you have the children and there is no one that you can rely on taking care of them or taking them here? Is there any time that you feel like, oh, I wish that I was in my house with my family, they can help me? Or you have always felt that you are doing okay without the middle? How is that?
I think for me, I would not go into culture, but I would speak about me as an individual. I am someone who is introverted and appreciated the privacy. And especially even long time before human design, when I was child, my mom said I was very stubborn and I had to do things my way. Therefore, I think I am okay, even though it's hard. I'm not saying it's not because there is no one, but starting to build a nice community of friends where we help each other. So sometimes it even happen that I can go for dinner with my husband now.
Yeah,
It was not possible, but yeah,
that explains the way that you wanted
yeah,
to raise a family. So it helped you to be far away from them because you really built the family that you wanted without the influence of
influence
other,
of
of
others.
other
Yeah,
people.
and that's what I think, which was a little bit of clash in England with my husband's family because. Not that he would be British only, but as well he's British Indian. So it's again like a different culture there, and again relationship oriented. So it was normal to come visit anytime and be there all the time around. And in a way, it was easy because whenever I needed or whenever and they helped to cook, and in a way it was great as well. It had advantages. But on the other hand, I missed a little bit of that privacy, but it was not a reason why we moved to Australia. It was more, I loved it here, I wanted to come back. And that's probably why I deal with it, even though it's hard.
Yeah, no, it's hard.
You know, it can be hard sometimes, yeah.
Yes, and being here, you want to stay here because this is the place where you feel very comfortable.
I love Australia. I
Mm,
definitely would love to.
mm.
Yeah, it's a beautiful place, and especially coming here with kids, it's amazing place for little kids. Has it's into lots of benefits. Yeah, I can see myself living in forever. You never know what's gonna happen, but yeah.
Now, if people would like to know more about all the different techniques that you use and all of the different things that you have helped yourself, you have helped me, you have helped my family. So I'm really grateful because you have done a big difference in our lives. So how they can find you, how can they get in contact with you?
Yeah, the easiest way is through my website, which is my name, Renata Dosanjh. .com. They can book free consultation call and we can discuss any step forward or at least explore the possibilities there for you.
No, this has been fantastic, Renata. I really appreciate you. Any other thing that you would like to add to our program? Asi Somos, that's the way we are. Pop, anything that comes to your mind that you would like to say?
Just explore who you are.
Yes.
On a really deep level, it's worth it. It leads you to a great fulfillment.
Well, thank you very much, everybody, to be here in our podcast. So, Asi Somos, that's the way we are. Thank you, Renata.
Thank you, Sandra.
See you soon. Nos vemos pronto.